Hello. This forum is for general election candidates for Commissioner of the Tacoma Metropolitan Park District, commonly known as Metro Parks. Positions 1 and 2 will be on your ballot. They are 6-year terms. Aaron Pointer is unopposed for position 1 and so is not attending. For position 2, the candidates are Brent Smiley Wiley and Tim Reid. Mr. Wiley is not attending the forum, so our questioners, Ann Williams of the League of Women Voters and Doug Schaefer of Community Council of Tacoma, will just be questioning Tim Reid. The timekeeper is Susan Eidenschink of the League of Women Voters. The candidate now has 1 minute for an opening statement. Mr. Reid.
Thank you. I'm Tim Reid, and I'm running for re-election to the Park Board of Tacoma, position 2. I would like to say that it has been an honor and a privilege to represent you, the public, on the Park Board. I am a proud Tacoma native, a proud father, and a proud grandfather.
That's it?
That's all I'm going to say in the opening statement.
Wow. I guess you get more time on the questions. We move on to questions. If I don't specify otherwise, you'll have about 60 seconds to answer, but because you're the only one here, we'll be a little flexible. Ann Williams will ask the first question.
You're on.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Reid. Metropolitan Park District is currently in discussion with other stakeholders regarding the creation of the Heidelberg Sports Village. Playfield capacity in the neighborhood would be lost. Is it appropriate for a public agency to sell public land for private development?
Well, the Park Board has not had a discussion about the soccer stadium, and well, this is my personal opinion, is we do not sell parkland for homes or for development. Once you lose the park and open space, you never get it back. So my personal opinion, again, is I'm not in favor of selling parkland for that.
Thank you. Second question from Doug Schaefer.
Mr. Reid, the Park District's stated policy is to charge market rates for its park facilities and recreation activities, although nearly 60% of its general fund revenue is from property and sales taxes. Our tax-funded public libraries offer free activities and free meeting rooms. Should the Park District be charging market rates for all its facilities and programs? Your thoughts?
Well, we do have what they call we call a pricing pyramid, and at the bottom, the base of the pyramid, we don't when the usage is for the public, we don't charge. As the usage gets more individualized, then we charge. At the top of the pyramid would be a market rate, but in between, it depends on the usage for the charge. So, yeah, we do give free meeting spaces and free programs. It's for the use is more for the public's use, then we don't charge.
Well, I was observing that the website says the minimum rate for a 20-person meeting room at the community centers is $25 for weekdays and $30 on weekends, and that struck me as significant.
Well, it's they would charge if if it wasn't open to the public, if it was a private club or a association, yes, we would charge them because the public's not invited then.
I see. Thank you for your response.
You bet.
Next question comes from Ann Williams.
Are any portions of Tacoma less well-served by community centers, such as the north and west ends? If so, what can be done to improve access?
First part of the question again, I'm sorry.
Are any portions of Tacoma less well-served by community centers?
Less well-served. We just put in the new community center over on the east side because there was no activities anymore after the Boys and Girls Club left. Where we partnered then with other agencies and developed East Side Community Center. What we do a study to determine what areas, quadrants, need community centers, and if they need them, then we'll do a master plan, make a determination, and then build one. That's the way we do. We just, plus it is the request of the citizens that say, we would like a new community center. We need one. This is the population. And again, we go into our master planning process.
And do you have a separate question about North Tacoma and West End Tacoma?
No.
North and West do not have big community centers. Will they? Should they?
The north end, of course, we have Point Defiance Park in the north end. We have the aquarium in the north end. We have the new Dune Park in the north end. We have the new bridge in the north end. We've developed along Ruston Way, all that parkland in the north end. We would be duplicating effort in the west end with the YMCA because they offer the same programs we would offer. However, we are looking at adding a community center in the west end where close by where Hunt Middle School is.
Ah. Good. Thank you. Doug Schaefer, you have a question?
Mr. Reid, Metro Parks 2019-2020 budget is explained in an 80-page document on its website. At pages 5 and 28, it states that the district will work with the city to develop strategies that support people experiencing homelessness. But at the district's recommendation, the city recently outlawed tents in parks. That budget was adopted last December. What has the district done or can it do to support the homeless?
The number one responsibility of the City of Tacoma, the Park District, the School District, Pierce County, is the safety of its citizens first. That's our number one responsibility. Actually, the city police came to us and asked us to change our code to not allow tents in the parks, public parks. This coincided with the complaints we were getting from the citizens who felt unsafe in the parks and actual aggressive behavior by the homeless in the parks. The city police cannot go in and look in a tent without a search warrant. They can't see if there's any illegal activity. They can't look for suspects without a search warrant. So they came to us. We had no plans of outlawing tents in the parks until they came to us. We have develop partnerships, and the city's done a great job, and other services have stepped up for the mental health, the drug addiction. There are daytime shelters, there are nighttime shelters. Metropolitan Development Council partners with us. The Associated Ministries partners with us. There's a shelter down that holds 80 beds. Now, every one of the homeless people we've asked if they would like our services, 70% have turned them down. They know the services are available. They just don't want to use them because they have to follow rules in the centers. And they choose to live off the grid. So, but every one of our employees and the police and the city employees knows of the services. If a homeless person wants the service, we have a shuttle available to pick them up right now.
Now, the Park District has a shuttle?
Yes, we call up and it go down and pick up and take them to the shelter they want to go to or the service they need.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Ann Williams, next question.
Mr. Reid, if you were making all the decisions at the Metropolitan Park District, what changes would you envision?
What changes would I make? Oh boy. Actually, we have what we call level of service. Level of service, we used to have a rule of thumb that you could walk to a park within 15 minutes of where you live. Well, we're changing that level of service to a 10-minute walk, and we're at 72% of reaching that goal now. And I would like to see us get to 100%. I would change that. And I would love to see more bathrooms in the parks. You know, that's, you know, when you take a family to a park, you know, you don't want to take them home, and when they have to go to the bathroom, you would like to have a bathroom right there. You know, that would be the big one, and the big changes. Of course, I always like to see always the budget is balanced, and we would have enough money to complete projects such as, you know, if we needed a new community center, we would have the funds to do it. But that, you know, we would have to take it out to a bond, and the citizens would need to vote on it. So those are the, you know, things. We have an excellent park system. We have great staff, and we're very responsive to the citizens. That, yeah.
Thank you.
Last question will come from Doug Schaefer.
I have
Oh, I'm sorry.
number 7, if we have time.
Okay. Wait, you don't really.
Mr. Reid, in recent years, many private and municipal golf courses have closed due to the high cost of operations and the value of land. Locally, I think City of Sumner, the Pierce County Golf Course out by Western State Hospital, and Brookdale Golf Course in Parkland. What do you foresee for the district's Meadowdale Golf Course?
It's Meadow Park Golf Course, and actually it is doing very well. We just made some capital improvements there. They are, the last number I heard was they're $200,000 ahead of their budget. So it's doing very well. It's a great public golf course. The rounds are fairly inexpensive, great driving range. It's a great park and a great golf course.
Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Golfers will be encouraged. Thank you.
And Ann Williams wants to sneak in a last question.
Okay. Mr. Reid, Metro Parks owns some undeveloped and natural areas, such as China Lake and Oak Tree Park. Are there or should there be any plans for development in these areas?
Let's see. I just walked through Oak Tree Park and China Lake Park. The Oak Tree Park is going to maintain its natural setting. There'll be pathways to use to walk through it. Also, school children come in classes and study nature there and the environment. China Lake is kind of split with a trail going through the woods, and there's nice little areas you can walk down to the lake and observe the turtles and the fauna and the wildlife that hangs out down there. And so no, we're not going to develop buildings or anything like that in there. We're going to maintain it as a natural setting.
Okay.
Is there any possibility for restroom facilities at some of these undeveloped parks?
Remember when I said, no, I would love to see that. You know, that's a good question. We should master plan it in such a way that we do have restrooms on there. And I'm not talking about porta potties. I'm talking about real restrooms. Yeah. The issue is, of course, vandalism in there, because when for some reason people like to go in there and tear the sinks off the walls and break up the toilets and make it so it's non-usable. I don't know why, but the other part is that we are only open from a half hour before sunrise to a half hour after sunset, and they still would get in and break them up. But yeah, I would love to see more restrooms in the parks.
Thank you. You may now have a minute for a closing statement if you would like it. You can rave about park honors or whatever you want.
Okay. The citizens of Tacoma should be very proud. We were just notified a couple of weeks ago from the National Recreation and Parks Association that there are about 12,000 parks in America. We won the gold medal, the best of the best, and the Parks Champion Award. Those are the 3 awards they give out. We won all 3. We were selected the best park district in America. The citizens should be very, very proud of that. You guys, the citizens, own the parks. You tell us what you want, and we go do it. So thank you very much. And please vote for me on Election Day.
Thank you very much. And I think the park commissioners should also be proud of those awards. Huge thanks for coming and answering our questions. Tim Reid is a candidate for Metro Parks Position 2. Thanks also to our questioners, timekeeper, volunteers, home audience, and TV Tacoma. Election Day is November 5th. Ballots must be postmarked by that date, and the post office does recommend mailing early, or in a drop box by 8 p.m. on election night. You're watching because you want your vote to be an educated one. Thanks. Now, don't forget to use it. Thank you.